Today I'm going to talk about the part 3 of what recently I have been talking about, the truth about 9 to 5 jobs. So this is part 3. This is part 3. Now, as I clearly mentioned in the previous videos, I am not against job. I'm not against employment. I'm just trying to point out the limitations of a job so that as you start a new job, a new position, you will not give it importance beyond the reality. And that's what I'm taking time to do in this video. In here today, I'm going to be looking at that issue of job security, that job security is an illusion. And there are many reasons why I will have to talk about this. But this is one of the truths you need to understand about jobs, that there is nothing like job security, actually. And the reasons why we're saying this is, first, let me start with probably a data that clarify what I'm trying to point out. Now, in 2023, Elon Musk, of course, the richest man now on earth, having a net worth of over 500 billion or 500 billion. That's interesting. Some people are predicting that he might be the first trillionaire we will ever have, or the first one. Not really we will ever have, because probably we will have others, because the way the world is going, making opportunities, creating a lot of opportunities for people to become very rich. Okay, let's go back to what I'm trying to say. Now, Elon Musk revealed he laid off 6,000 employees. 6,000 employees at Twitter, now called X. If you look at these numbers, particularly these numbers, this is about 80% of the workforce in Twitter. Now currently about just 1,500 employees are working there. So that means nearly 80% were laid off when Elon Musk came in or acquired Twitter. Now we call X. What can you say about that? Now, I believe these employees were never thinking about being sacked, but suddenly, because there was an acquisition, so one decision management completely wiped out their livelihood, so to say, or their jobs. So what am I trying to say? Which means if you are an employee, the decision to stay or to keep working is not with you. In most instances, of course, we know sometimes you have to resign if you want to resign. In most occasions, you have these reasons that will lead to job loss that we are seeing. As we see, a management decision just completely wiped out 6,000 jobs. So one policy, or it could be even a crisis, like economic downturn, or a company wants to restructure because maybe there's a policy, or even automation now that we are in the generation or era of AI, we have not just only AI, we have apps, of course, that are very effective. We have automation, digitization. So all these are reasons, or some of the reasons, that an employee could lose their job, because now we are competing not just only with humans, we are also competing with machines, we are competing with artificial intelligence. And this is not just a unique thing with Twitter. And of course, you cannot imagine, let me point out this, even when 6,000 employees were removed or sacked from now X, Twitter, what did we see? Of course, the 1,500, about 1,500 employees that were left, Twitter is still working, Twitter is still operating, which means that there must be some restructuring from inside. Some jobs were given to machines and on and on. And those jobs that are redundant completely are removed. So that means you have to understand that you're not just only competing with people today, and the competition is not just with others. No, you're also competing with machines. And recently, we have seen, particularly this 2025, we have seen Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, and so many other major American firms announcing a mass layoff this year. So what I'm trying to ask is that if these giant companies are actually letting go their workers, how secure is your job where you are working now? How secure is your job? And this is the reason why I'm actually pointing these for you to know. So if you are taking a job, if you just secure a job, just know that there's nothing secured about it. So that as you get to work, let your mind begin to think fast. What am I going to do that is sustainable? What am I saying? Job is not a sustainable way to secure your financial future. So what then can you do? That's the point. After knowing that it's not a place, it's not a good strategy actually to secure your financial future. And there are some things that I want you to know. Here, your security does not lie with your employer. I hope you just get what I'm saying here. That your security, your job security, does not come from your employer, but it comes from you. It comes from you. It comes from your capacity. It comes from your creativity and adaptability. So if you will ever have anything we call job security, then you must stop looking elsewhere and look at yourself. What is my capacity? What about my creativity? What about my adaptability? Because the world is moving fast. You must be able to adapt. You must be able to upskill. That's what I'm talking about. So as you continue in that job, or you are thinking of getting a job, you must upskill. You must build your skill. Build skill. Build skill. Remember, I said, your job security does not come from your employer, but from you. You are the one that will determine how relevant you will be at any point in time. So build skills. Create value. Because we are in a generation whereby I mean, I've asked many young people, for example, my country, Nigeria, they say, there is no money, money is not there, there's no money in this country, things are terrible, things are bad. And I often ask this question. I'm not saying that there is no suffering, not at all. And I'm not saying our leaders have done very well. No, that's not what I'm talking about. But I ask these questions, and most of them have no answer to give me. One, what is a service that is relevant to the time? What service are you delivering? What product are you producing? What value are you giving? None. How then are you saying that everything is difficult? Everywhere is suffering. That's not true. Just say, I am suffering. And I'm not trying to undermine what is going on in our country and in many parts of the world. No, not at all. I sympathize with many people. And truly, it hits me because, of course, I have a family, I have many friends, I have mentors. Even the recent strike action, industrial action by ASU, the Academic Staff Union of Universities. I mean, it hits you because if you look at the pattern and the history of industrial action, it's actually depressing, because why should our universities be allowed to go on suffering like that? No. But if you say you're going to wait for your leaders to do something before you can do something for yourself, it's going to be a big problem. While we are asking for more, while we are saying our leaders need to do well, we also must not come back and just sit down waiting for them. No, that's the essence of these videos I'm doing, that you can do something to change the narrative, and then collectively, as we are making progress, we can then help our society and community. I believe success should be communal, that your success should inspire, your success should cause the success of another person or a community. That is how we can build a society that works for all of us. So come back here. As I'm talking about this, don't just be picturing yourself alone. I want you to be looking at your community also. That the reason why you must not just sleep and rely and just lie down as if your job is a permanent place, why you shouldn't do that is because you have many people to encourage. That when your success become visible, become a reality, it will cause the success of others. So I don't want you to give up. And that's why I want you to see this beyond you as an individual. Just you as an individual. No, you must see that this information you are getting is that others will benefit from it. And particularly, I want you to see that if anything will ever happen to your life, it will be largely because of you, yourself. And that's why I'm focusing that don't see your job security from your employer. See your job security from the lenses of what you can be able to create, your creativity, your capacity, your ability to adapt to the current reality and situation. And networking is very important. That is, these things, your skills, your ability to create value and to connect and to create and maintain relevant networks. These are things that can be able to help you secure what in this term we call your job, because your job is not just only what you do, because you are, even if anything has happened, for example, in the case of the employees at X or at Twitter, then that means you are able to create something, you are able to move on to another thing because you are valuable, because you are skillful, and because you have connection, network, relationship that are relevant. So I don't want you to focus on promotion. Most times when we get when we are in our workplace, when we are in our jobs, our focus is always on promotion. I'm a lecturer, and one of the things I have seen that I have to caution myself is that there is this almost rat race, that you're just focused almost on just writing papers, publishing papers, doing this, doing that. And the focus most times for many people is just, let me get promoted to the next position. As a doctor before, I want to be promoted to assistant professor, and the next to associate professor, and the next to professor. If your focus is promotion, you're going to suffer. But you must see beyond promotion. Let your focus be on the capacity you are developing. The capacity you are developing, the creativity, the adaptability, all the skills that will help you to adapt to the current situation. And so that even if you are out of the system, you will never be stranded. And that is a reality for the young people. The reality that I want young people to understand. But know this: job security is an illusion. It's nothing like job security. It does not come from your employer. Please focus on yourself. And when I'm saying focus on yourself, I'm not talking about selfishly, because so that people will not misunderstand me. When you get to your job, I'm not saying that you should just be selfish, allow things to suffer in your workplace, and then because you are focusing on just developing yourself. Remember what I have said, that success, I believe, should be coming up. Meaning that our success is supposed to be not be selfish motivated, but must be that as I'm developing, that it should be able to cause the development of others. My company should benefit that I'm progressing. My community should benefit that I'm progressing. That is what I see as success. And I'm living this as a young person, as a new professional, that you just started something. I'm living this with you. Think about it, process it, and see that you make the right choice before it is too late. Now you are young, you don't have dependents yet, you don't have so many people depending on you, you don't have so much responsibility, so you can do much more now. You can take risks that you won't be able to take when you have so many people with you, or on yourself, on you, or actually depending on you. You understand? So just focus on building yourself. Take the necessary risks that you're supposed to take. And I believe that you will become a source of joy, a source of blessing, a source of motivation, a reference point for many other people to see and then to develop.